Yes, that's right. This is a Bentley SUV, simply called Bentayga. It's priced from $420,000 for this W12 version. Tick a few options and the price will quickly hit $500,000. So, what exactly do you get for that kind of money in an SUV? It's fair to say this is probably not the best looking Bentley ever made, but in the flesh it's actually not that bad. And whatever you may think of its exterior, it's the interior that will really impress you. To say that this is the ultimate in luxury SUVs would probably still be an understatement. I am so surprised by the quality of this cabin. Everything in here looks really well finished, whether it's the aircon vents, the little knobs that you turn where someone will actually spend time working out the amount of feel you need as you turn them, or the speaker grills which have their own very unique pattern. This is just a proper Bentley interior. There's also a big boot that makes this awfully practical for families. So, no excuses then. And hey, how cool is this? This thing is in the boot, so in case you go on a picnic and you don't have your own picnic blanket, you can just sit back here. It's far more comfortable. You can get the Bentayga in a 5 or a 4-seat configuration as we have here. Now, there is a little bit of a legroom issue, I suppose, if you're quite taller, but ultimately, this car is about how it drives on the road. So, let's get out there. On the road, the Bentayga is just like any other modern Bentley. It's super smooth and very quiet. Now, of course, with 12 cylinders up front and 2 turbochargers, you'd expect this thing to make a fair bit of noise, but that's simply not the case. However, with 447 kilowatts of power and an enormous 900 Newton meters of torque, this thing will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 4.1 seconds. Now that's ridiculously quick for a car that weighs 2.5 tons. The ride is very comfortable, which you'd probably expect being in a Bentley. However, what we didn't expect was how good the steering is. It's super sharp and very precise, even if it does lack that little bit of feedback. The ZF 8-speed transmission, just like the rest of the drivetrain, is very good at dealing with all that torque and power. In fact, there's this little drive mode selector down here that I can go from comfort to Bentley mode to sport and wait for it, off-road. That's right, this thing can go off-road. And we did just that, both at an off-road course and also on sand dunes. But despite the Bentayga's extreme abilities on all surfaces, we genuinely can't imagine any sane person would willingly subject their Bentley to such torture. But it's good to know it has the ability. Now it's time to get back to reality. Well, not really, because now we're at a racetrack and Bentley is keen to show us just how fast their SUV can go around corners. Which is, well, kind of odd because this is an SUV, but this thing is really quick for what it is, and the acceleration from this W12 is unbelievable. But what is also really surprising is just how well it handles around corners. I mean, I'm just sort of powering through corners here, and the car is just holding on without any issues. That's quite surprising because I've been in a lot of fast SUVs, but this thing, I think we just did about 160 there down this little straight. It's definitely not a race car. You don't have the feedback from the wheel. You don't really get much sensation of speed, but you just have to look at the speedo and realize you're going really, really fast. And I guess that's the beauty of the car, is that it's super practical as an SUV, but at the same time, if you want to go quick, it can really do the job. But does it make sense to spend nearly $500,000 on an SUV? Sure, you can go off-road, on-road, and even on a racetrack. But I suppose it all comes down to whether or not you simply want the best, because the Bentayga is without doubt the new king in town.